Salam alaikum. Buenos dias, buenos dias, buenos dias. Hope you guys are doing great. I pray that Sambian Pungo and your ancestry blesses you guys. Your muertos bless you guys. And your family members and all. Sorry for the chime. Wanted to let you guys know that I read yesterday. Some of you guys I think watched it or heard the reading. Very good knowledge to try to grasp and understand and apply the V of life. I'm gonna continue reading the book where I left off tonight, just to give you guys a little bit more, because I know it hasn't gone into it. Went in, but it hasn't gone into it deep enough for you guys to get kind of the concept of what it means. Now, I have one exercise for you guys could do, and I'll give you that in a minute. But these are things that have been taught and brought down through generations and generations, you know. The problem with it is, as the author states, that they were lost. You know, people were being executed and condemned for following their practices and believing what they believe and their customs, you know, through their generation and history. It spoke about a woman or a young girl that was the ability to be accepted to a certain society. She had to have already her menses, and that was the only restriction, that if she didn't have that, well, she couldn't be accepted until she had it. That was just one of the aspects of the society, the secret society that worked in that manner as far as for the females. It's sometimes a little bit tough to understand these concepts for us here in the Americas, where we're not taught none of this stuff in school. You know, this is not part of the curriculum that we received. You barely hear anything about, you know, history, and if you do, it's always Christopher Columbus, you know, and this stuff, you know. But when you start delving into the books, and a lot of, you know what's the crazy part? The crazy part is, right, and I understand where they're coming from, and it's fine, you know, is that I get emails, right, telling me that why do I read things that have to do with the Kikongo over there, you know, things that have to do with the Bantu, things that have to do with Africa and all that. And it's kind of like sometimes frowned upon by people, I guess. I mean, this is the only thing that I could imagine, by people, because, you know, it's like if there's a problem or I'm doing something wrong by reading a book, by bringing some information of the Bantu people, the Congo in particular, and trying to, I mean, the Bantu in particular, trying to bring a little bit of enlightenment to people, you know, to see if anything that they could get from my reading, whether they get interested in getting the book and get it themselves. I don't get paid anything, no royalties or nothing from any book that I read. I just do it from the heart for you guys. But I have gotten a couple of comments which I have to erase because it's not worth really having a comment like that there. Or email, why do you read African things that have to do with African literature, things that have to do with the Bantu, things that have to do with the Bible, things that have to do with anything that I put and read out there? There's always somebody, a retractor, that's always going to come and speak about, which is fine. I'm great, and I just tell them thank you, and that's it. I don't have time for that, you know. But we if we don't look, if we just gonna stick with what we are taught, it's fine. It's fine. All power to you. Stick with what your elders have taught you. Stick with anything that you have been taught. Keep following the way you've been following. You've been doing your things. For no means am I reading a book or putting out videos for you guys could change your practice or nothing. You don't. This is not for people to change what they've been taught by their elders and to practice anything that either I'm reading or anything that I put out in a video. I'm a little bit more, I could say, I'm a little bit more open, as far as open in the sense that you'll have some people that say, don't be a follower. Be a leader. You understand? And then you have people that don't lead and don't follow anything. They do whatever they want. You understand? And that's fine. Everybody's entitled to do whatever they want. But there's one thing to follow, and there's one thing to exceed what you're following. Meaning, once you exceed it, you're not following that anymore because you are better than that, in a sense. You have grown over what you was following. And any aspects of life, You go to a job and you apply as an internship, you're a follower. Why? Because you went to school and you learned what you had to do, but once you get to that job, you understand that all that stuff that you read in the book, maybe 5% you doing it at the job. When you get there, you notice that things are not like what you studied in the book. Things are more on hand. Like, you have to readjust yourself to perform that job duty in a different manner. You have to readjust quickly, because not everything that was in the book, it was enough for you to get credits, enough for you to understand the basic comprehension of whatever studies you're going for, the knowledge that you needed to get from it. But when it goes to hands-on and you go to the place, forget about it. You notice that things change, and you look at yourself like, all this studying that I did, and these people here, it's different. It's not the same. There's some aspects of this, that, I could use the, this and that, but it's not. You'll notice there's going to be a lot of change. Anyway, what I'm trying to get to, when you have a teacher, right, that's teaching you, you have to implement that teaching, and you have to do your homework. But even though you're being taught, when it comes down to you applying what you have been taught, is a different story. Because now it's you. Now you are the one that has to do the job. You have the one that has to do whatever you have to do from the teachings that you have received and got. It changes. It's not the same. But I'm gonna read today a little bit more tonight, a little bit more about the book, the concept of the V, and the exercise that I wanted you guys to do is I want you guys to spread your legs, stand up straight, and spread your legs apart, and tell me what that looks like. Then I want you guys to put your hands up in the air, straight up, and open them up a little bit to the sides, and tell me what that looks like. Okay? You're going to have a vertical V, the way you will write it, a V. And then when you're standing up, you're going to have an inverted V, meaning that the wider part it's going to be at the bottom. It's going to be like this. A V going down. And when you open your hands up, you're going to have a V going up. That's one of the concepts of what I was reading yesterday. If you guys do not understand what is the V of life. That's part of it, not all of it. That's one little gem for you guys to take when I'm reading the V of life. You have to take that under consideration. It's speaking about not only the human being, really the human being, what he stands for, what he is, but also things that have to do in nature. They are also part of the V of life in this world. I just wanted to make a short video. It's crazy the way people email you and comment asking if you follow Afro-Cuban, why do you go into Bantu literature and Congo literature and anthropology and sciences and all that? And sometimes it amazes me because the only way that we are gonna see, Palo has evolved in time, through time. Everything that we know now from Palo, that we follow now, it wasn't followed back then. It was done differently. You understand? Things evolve. Things get not manipulated or changed, but things do regenerate. New concepts come out there, make more sense, or that we could apply now because we have certain things in nature or certain knowledge about how things work. You understand? And if we don't progress as we go and learn more and implement more things that have to do with the nature aspects and know about life and death and regeneration, meaning reincarnate, if you want to say, even though to me that's a bad word, it's like mostly for animals, but anyway, reincarnation. But all of this regeneration, everything regenerates. You know, summer comes, things come to life. If you notice, it starts getting cold, things die out. Even the plants die. Even animals hibernate. You know, even animals prepare themselves with food because they know they won't be able to find food in the wintertime. You know, all these things nature does, these birds, these pigeons, these ducks, the geese, all of this stuff, you know, it has a lot to do with Nkisimalongo. We just got to start looking at it for what it is, you know, like really, really pay attention. And I'm one to myself that I'm opening up more and more and more and trying to apply these concepts more, because as I see more and as I'm being taught more and understand more by a teacher, then, you know, it'll make me better. You know what my tata tells me? My tama tells me, I want you to be as good as me or better. Not less than me, because if I'm less than him, he considers that he failed me. Just think about that. What teacher, what leader will tell you, I want you to be as good as me or better than me, because if not, I have failed you as a teacher? Just put thought to that, think about that. And I only hope and sometimes say, wow, if we have more leaders that thought this way, how vast and how more knowledgeable we will all have been, and we will all have been able to practice the tradition, you know, to its potential, get the richness of it. Answer to your question is, I follow and I read Bantu, Kikongo literature. I even read Yoruba literature. I even read Islamic literature. I read biblical literature. I read Roman literature. I read Greek literature. I read different types of belief systems and historical things that happened to understand more the people and the concept and how we got to the point of where we at now. I read a lot about the Congo because I believe that a lot of things that we don't practice these days was because of the lack of knowledge by the leaders and the elders that didn't have or weren't taught certain concepts of the Congo people in their form. Yes, we have a lot of it, but I believe that there was still more that they had and they left with. And if you open up your eyes and you kind of stop shutting you down on just following one way because you already been taught this way and that's it and this is how you're going to keep it, that's fine. But I'm not. If I could implement something in my practice that is more pure to the African tradition, and it's not going to affect the Afro-Cuban tradition, it's only going to add something beneficial to my practice, I'm going to apply it. And the only thing that I'm going to apply is from the Congo and Bantu people. I'm not applying anything else outside of that to my practice. If it ain't Congo, if it ain't Bantu, I'm not going to add it. You understand? Or use it, or understand it, and see the concept of it. You know, once you start opening these books and you start reading from good writers, good authors, you're gonna see that a lot of things are gonna open up on you, and you're gonna get more understanding. But you know, that's for those who really wanna get out of the box and gain a little more, knowledge about things. Just, I don't know. I'm just different, guys. I'm sorry. I just like to learn. If I know that this art in the Bantu system is beneficial and I could apply it to my Afro-Cuban practice, at the end of the day, the root is from Africa. The root is from the Congo people, the Bantu. I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm just applying a very good part to it. Salam alaikum, alaikum salam.